Now, if you would like to understand basic plots, stupid protagonists, random power-ups, and the power of friendship, then I introduce to you every shonen anime in a nutshell. Now, when it comes to shonen anime in a nutshell, I have to break it down into parts. So, in order to start off, I want to explain the protagonist. And for protagonists, I feel like you're honestly always gonna have to break it down into two certain archetypes. Okay, so that's what I'll be describing: Type A and Type B. Type A is the sort of protagonist where you'll honestly get your run-of-the-mill, basic meathead characters, and those are the type of characters who really only wish to become the king of this, the leader of this village, the wizard, whatever. It doesn't matter, but usually they'll always end up wanting to eat a lot. They're pretty dumb, they're extremely dense, right? And when I say that, I mean those type of characters that if some girl likes them, or some girls like feeling them or whatever, they will never realize it ever. Okay, I'm talking about the Naruto and Hinata situation, the Asta situation, and honestly even the Goku situation, because he didn't even know that Chi-Chi liked him until he thought marriage was food. Okay, like these types of characters are honestly so stupid. Like, it makes no sense for them to be this dumb, but for the sake of the story and for the sake of funny situations that happen because the protagonist is too dumb, it's honestly needed for situations like this. Okay, so for these types of characters, you'll honestly get your Astas, your Narutos, and your Gokus. Okay, the extremely dumb protagonists, and these are your Type A's, also Luffy included, because he's stupid as hell too. Now, for your Type B's, okay, these are honestly the rarest type of protagonist that you'll find, okay, because it's almost like once in a blue moon that a series with this type of protagonist almost blows up, to be honest. Like, they're either quiet, nice, or more calm than usual than the Type A's, okay? And honestly, these are the protagonists that people end up liking the most, for real. Like, these are the protagonists that when they encounter a situation, instead of rushing head on or raging immediately, they'll honestly chill out and think about it before they just go nuts about a situation. Okay, so like, they're honestly the types that'll honestly really rage only when you have to push them to a certain extent. Okay, like, they don't have to be like the dumb protagonist where if you do something slightly stupid or slightly too far, like, they'll honestly piss them off and make them rage a lot faster than usual. Like, the Type B's, bro, they won't rage as hard. Well, they'll rage harder, but they won't rage as fast, if you know what I mean. And honestly, with the Type B's, right, they honestly have so much more to explore, right? Like, honestly, with the Type B's, you want to know a lot more about their families and a lot more about, like, their background or whatever. Like, what makes them so calm, okay? Because, like, honestly, with the market being so flooded with all the Type A's of the dumb protagonists or whatever, the Type B's are the most interesting because there's so much more to look into with them. Like, when you have your Tanjiros, your Gons, or your Ichigos as examples, like, why are they so chill? Why are they so calm? And it's honestly so much better to look into their backstory, okay? Especially when their family gets bodied and they're still chilling like that, bro. Like, honestly, Type B's, in my opinion, are way better of protagonists, okay? And their main goals aren't even to become like the leader of this, the leader of that, okay? Like, they're most likely to be the ones that want to just honestly protect their family, bro. And that's honestly what makes Type B's more relatable and cooler to me than the Type A's, because we have so many Type A protagonists here, bro. Like, we honestly need a lot more Type B protagonists, the Tanjiros, Gons, and Ichigos, and that's honestly would be a lot better for the anime genre, in my opinion, if we had a lot more of those in the industry. Now, for this part, you have your rivals, okay, and your rivals also range from one of two parts. First off, you have your Type A's, okay, and your Type A's are honestly your run-of-the-mill, most basic type of rival, okay, and this is the rival that will hate you but is friends with you all the same, so a love-hate relationship, okay? And this ranges from emotional abuse, running away so you end up chasing after them and they become a villain, and also trying to take your spot, the role that you're trying to get to become the king or wizard or whatever, okay? And these are the most basic traits to describe them, because honestly every single rival has their own thing that makes them stand out, but the most basic one is that they do all three of these things, and they also are basically just as dumb as the main character. And this only stands for type A's, okay? And also for the protagonists, they also tend to only be the protagonist's best friend, even though they act like they hate / love them, okay? But that's honestly all it is to sum up the rivals for type A, okay? Because they're literally just the protagonist but the secondary character. Like, there's not much you can do with them. Now for type B's, okay, the type B's are honestly another type of more interesting chill / rival type of character, but honestly instead of being a rival, they feel more like a companion that's also just as strong as the main character, okay? And they also tend to be more of a foil to the main character than exactly like them as you would get with the type A's, okay? So honestly they'll end up being a lot more chill, but they'll also end up being almost just as strong as the main character, okay? And they also tend to be the opposite, right? So like these are the characters that are almost like what Zenitsu is to Tanjiro, what Kurapika is to Gon, and Gon and Killua's relationship, basically, because they don't even try to rival the character or try to be stronger than them, okay? They're mainly just there to be the homie and help them out with their journey. Like, they're not trying to beat them at their own goal or whatever. They're genuinely there for support, okay? And I like them a lot more because they honestly give more of the chill vibe that I'm looking for. Like, it's not basic, like it's not overly used, if you know what I mean, right? And when these type B chill protagonists, secondary characters, they always end up getting their own arc that's just as cool, and they always end up having a cool backstory, okay? Like, these are the type of rivals I prefer, okay? And that's exactly why Zenitsu is my favorite type of character, okay? Because he has his own thing going on, bro. He's not worried about what Tanjiro got going on over there, okay? That's not to say I don't like Inosuke, but I'm just saying Zenitsu's cooler because he's like just as strong as Tanjiro almost, but he's just not overly competing with him like Inosuke is. So to make it short / simple, your type A's would be your Sasuke, Vegetas, and Bakugos, and your type B's would end up being your Zenitsu, Karapikas, and your Gon and Killua's type of relationships. Stand the type B rivals. Okay, so to make this one simple, we're gonna be talking about the waifus of shonen, okay? And there's really only one real type for these because honestly they don't tend to deviate with character types in this one, and it's honestly the type A's, and they're all exactly useless. And honestly, to round out this last part, I really just want to use this to round up everything that I didn't give like its own part or segment in the video, such as rivals, waifus, or protagonists, okay? So to start off, I just want to say a parent is always missing, okay? First of all, so you'll either have someone dead, missing, or they have to go on a journey to find them, okay? And that's honestly the plot of so many shonens, where honestly the reason that this character that's like 15 to 16 go down on his own so easily and freely is because the parent is nowhere to be found, you know? Like, that's not just the rules of the world, because parents tend to take care of their kids. They're not just gonna let them go on some journey, right? Well, only in shonen is that the parent is either always dead, so you end up being a main character, so you get to go out and do what you want to either find your parent, find the person who killed your parent, or to become the king of this or whatever. Secondly, there's always some evil organization, okay? Like, there's always some organization that's behind every single plot that began in the story, you know what I mean? Like, and it's always the antagonist that's gonna lead it, but you have to get through the organization to get to the final villain, okay? So like the Evangelist with Fire Force, okay? Or the Anbu and the Akatsuki and Naruto and the millions of different organizations you encounter through the Pokemon games, okay? Like, it's honestly, if you're gonna have an anime that's a shonen, okay, there's always gonna be some type of secret organization that's behind every single event of the story, whether that's from the beginning of the story to you show up at the end of the story for no reason. Like, I don't know why every show has it. I guess it makes it easier to create more villains for one reason or another, but it's always there, okay? And last but not least, it's definitely not least, but the character MC will always have some random power up, okay? And I'm talking about the power ups that, like, it wasn't hinted at throughout the story. Like, you might be little hints or whatever, right? But when you finally get the power up, it makes no sense, okay? Like, they just all of a sudden go from being one of the weakest people on the battlefield to being quite literally the strongest, okay? I'm talking about Goku Super Saiyan, Naruto's Nine-Tailed Fox, Asta's anti-magic, okay? Like that anti-magic demon, who expected that? I didn't. Even Tanjiro's like fire dancing abilities, bro. Like what was that even? Okay, like there's so many random abilities that come out of nowhere, and every shonen has it. Okay, like your run-of-the-mill shonen will have it, bro. Ichigo and all his transformations, bro. Like who the hell expected Ichigo to be the gods of God? Like bro, Ichigo has so many transformations, I don't even know what each one of them does. Okay, like they're literally just random power-ups, and every shonen protagonist will have one. But honestly, pizza people, this has been every shonen in a nutshell. And honestly, don't hate on me, bro, because you know, at the end of the day, it's all jokes, okay? And once again, thank you for 1K. And if you want more like this, if you found it funny, if you found it interesting in some way, shape, or form, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Get it out there, because we're shooting for 100K at the end of the year. And also, let me know what ways you would like to see this series change or be better, okay? And without further ado, thank you for watching, pizza people, and I will see you pizza people on the other side of the slice. We move.